Welcome to my madness once again, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu. This is classic Yondu. Yondu as I grew up with him, and I'm very excited because honestly, Guardians of the Galaxy, the original Guardians of the Galaxy, was one of my favorite comic books growing up. I loved it. I loved the futuristic sci-fi aspect of it. Vance Astro was one of my favorite characters. Yondu was awesome. I mean, it was just a really cool comic book series. It was one of my two favorite comics for a very long time. That and What If, actually, were my two favorite comic books. And I was just excited to get a good classic Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu, not anything from the movies or anything like that, but just this cool character. So very happy to get him, but let's waste no time. Let's go ahead, crack this guy open, and see what we've got inside. All right, so we got him out of the package. We'll look at accessories real quick first. He does come with his bow and arrow. The arrow itself is nothing fancy. And then the bow actually looks pretty good. I mean, it's just gold painted. And then you do have two different kinds of plastic there. So the bow itself is made out of a harder plastic. And then this piece here is a softer plastic, softer translucent plastic, because it's got like the light string. So it looks good. It's solid. It works. And then of course you do get the quiver itself, which is just gold and red, but at least they painted it two different colors, because we've gotten a lot of these quivers, especially with like Hawkeye and some of these other characters, where it's just all one solid color. The arrows, the quiver, everything is one solid color. So at least they painted it two colors this time, I guess. Literally the least they could do, but you know, they did it, so there. As far as the figure itself goes, this is basic stuff here, guys. This is all reuse, except for the head and possibly the feet. I'm not sure. At first I thought these were Captain America's feet, but they are not. But the body itself is the Sunfire body, so you know what to get with that. And then of course the head sculpt actually is done pretty well with the fin and everything. Now the fin itself is just a flat red plastic. Would have been nice to put some details or something on there, I guess, but they didn't. But the face sculpt looks really good. And, I think they did an okay job. I mean, look, it's the Sunfire body reused. There's no sculpt to speak of on it. They basically took that Sunfire body and added the belt and the bracer and the straps, changed the head and changed the boots, and that's pretty much it. I can't say that the paint itself is clean, at least. It looks good. You can see the differentiation there between the gold and the red and the blue there, where it is painted on the chest. And so that looks good. But again, this is not a figure you're going to write home about, guys. There's nothing spectacular about this at all. It's a basic reuse sculpt that is reused in a way that makes sense. And look, it is classic Yondu, but honestly, that's why you're getting this. Not because you're getting some great figure. I mean, it is the Sunfire body mold, so it's got that standard Marvel Legends articulation with the butterfly joint. So it is a good mold. Maybe not the one I would have picked for Yondu. I would have picked something bigger, but it's still well done, and I am very happy to get a classic Yondu, but certainly your affection for this character is the only reason you're picking this guy up, because there's nothing that stands out or is spectacular about him in any way, shape, or form. It is a very basic bitch figure, and that's pretty much it. And I knew that going in, so I'm not really disappointed, but it would have been nice to have been surprised, right? So we've got the figure here. Let's go ahead. We're going to throw him up with some other characters, see how he stacks up, and see what we've got going on with this guy. All right, so the first thing we've got to compare Yondu here to is, of course, Vance Astro, or Major Victory, whatever you want to call him. The only other original Guardians of the Galaxy member that we have gotten from Marvel Legends. And that's a shame, but it does beg the question, because we got this figure like 6 or 7 years ago. Are we ever going to get the rest of the team? Are we ever going to get Starhawk or Martinex or Charlie 27 or any of these figures? And we're going to have to wait 6 to 7 years between figures to put a original Guardians of the Galaxy display together? Because that's going to suck, because it's a great team, and I would love to have a shelf display with the original Guardians of the Galaxy. And I hope someday we will get it, but for now, this is what we've got. So how does Yondu look with Vance Astro? He looks fantastic. I actually love this Vance Astro figure. It's one of my favorites, probably because being that it was one of my favorite comics, Vance Astro was one of my favorite characters growing up. So I have an affinity for it, even though arguably it's not a great figure by modern standards. It's an old sculpt and looks okay, although they have reused this sculpt many, many, many times. But I think they look really good. They look solid together. I think they work well together, and I just can't wait to get these two on the shelf together. And hopefully someday we will get the rest of the team. All right, now for some quick other Marvel Legends comparisons, basically as kind of stand-ins, because I feel like this retro Captain America here is roughly about the same size as Starhawk should be. And this Ben Grimm, the Thing, is roughly the same size that Charlie 27 should be. So this would give you a kind of idea of how Yondu would fit in if we actually did have those characters. And I think he stacks up pretty well. All right, so let's talk about price here real quick. And this guy goes for $25. And the question, of course, is he worth it? And there are two answers to this. Strictly from a value for your money standpoint, no. I mean, honestly, with all the reuse and no additional sculpting and basic paint job and all that kind of stuff, I mean, there's not $25 worth of plastic here, in my opinion. There's really not. You know, it's a solid Marvel Legend. I mean, the, Sunfire body is well done, but is it $25? And the answer is no. So if you're looking to put a cool Marvel Legend in your display for $25, there are better options out there right now. Or just a cool action figure in general, there are better options for $25. But if, like me, you like Guardians of the Galaxy or Yondu in particular, yes, then it is kind of worth it because you don't have any other options. And that sucks, but it's the truth. So it really just kind of depends on your personal idea of where you're getting the value out of this figure, honestly. Because, for me, yes, obviously it was worth it. Again, I knew what to expect. I was hoping to be surprised, but I wasn't. But I knew what to expect, so I knew what I was getting when I spent the $25. I got it, and I still think it's worth it for me. You may feel differently, especially if you have no affinity for this character, if you have no connection to the original Guardians of the Galaxy, then this is probably an easy pass because there's just not a lot going on here. There are plenty of molds out there that have used this body. So if you're looking for something to customize, this would not be the one to get. Again, the value is in the eye of the beholder at this point. So I'm glad I got it. I think it was worth it, but I can absolutely understand if other people would look at this and go, easy pass, because honestly, there's not a lot going on here. And by the way, real quick, for anybody who's asking, I did modify the hands to be able to hold this arrow. I cut between two of the fingers, so he does not come like that. You would have to do that yourself with a razor blade or a knife or something, but very simple, very easy to do, and then it allows him to actually hold his arrow properly. But look, I like the figure, I like the character. I'm glad I got it, but in the end, it's kind of a simple figure and there's not a lot going on here. So anyway, we'd love to hear you guys' opinions in the comments section down below. So let me know, do you like him? Do you not like him? Do you plan on getting him? If you already got him, what do you think of him? Let me know down below. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and always remember to enjoy your collection.